Well, this gentleman comes from Summersville, South Carolina. He's also a fan of the group Coldplay. Loves the sport. He's going to buy his lovely wife another bigger place. And I tell you what, dearly, this man is an amazing leader. He's been in network marketing long as I have, if not longer, probably about the same time. But he also understands the idea of longevity and also building the team. Without further ado, can we give a warm welcome to Regional Director, none other than Mr. Curtis Evans.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Great. We got a nice, sunny, cool day out here in South Carolina. Real happy that everybody could be on. It's just the weather is just great. I love this time of the year, in the spring part of the year. We're in business, and we're in a very, very unique business. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about myself today, and I'm sure most of you are glad about that. But what I want to do is kind of get into some of the nuances of our business. I remember hearing Elon, I think it's his name, Elon Musk speak to a group probably 2 years ago. And one of the things he said that struck me, there's a lot of things, but one of them that struck me pretty well was, if you're looking for someone to hype you up, or if you're looking for someone to give you encouragement, or if you're looking for someone to psych you out, whatever, he named a lot of things. He said, you probably don't need to have a business, okay? Because in business, you have ups and you have downs. Now, the most important thing in an up period is to realize it's great. Money's coming in, you're doing very little work, and a lot of things are happening all at the same time. It's running on all 8 cylinders, and every week, every month, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And a lot of you haven't seen that in multi-level marketing yet, but it happens. It happens to a lot of people. I mean, a whole lot of people. I like to bring you, who on this call would have loved in one of your 6 organizations to have Al Thomas in one of your 6 organizations? Who would just love to have that? Okay. And in one of your 6 organizations, now in order to get 6 strong organizations, you can't put in 6 people. You're going to have to put in 30, 40, 50, 60 direct people to you, because you're looking for those organizations that, a leader to show up in one of those organizations. But maybe in your 3rd leg or 4th leg, let's say Al came in your 2nd leg, and say maybe in your 6th leg over there, somebody brought in somebody, they brought in somebody, and they brought in someone like Mike Mazer or Patrick Mazer. Who would like to have that in one of the other legs? Okay. And then maybe another leg, you put in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more people. And on the 13th level in that 9th leg, Chanel Burke showed up. Who wouldn't have a problem with that? Okay. Chanel Burke popped in. Now, did you know Chanel Burke? No. Did you know Al Thomas? No. Did you know any of those people? No. But what happened is the system will help you find people. That's why our system is so unique. It will help you to find people that you don't know. So for instance, you may not know Al Thomas. He came in on your 3rd level. You say, I'm looking for an Al Thomas to sign up direct. That is a wrong way of looking at this. If you're looking for Al Thomas to sign up direct, you're looking for SVP. That means you don't pass up a lot of people. You're prejudging. You see what I'm saying? You're prejudging. But you're looking for someone that wants to start a business and change their life. You show them a way. They like it. They came and got some customers. And more importantly, they had a big PBZ. They had a very big meeting, and you did a meeting for them. They had 20 people in that meeting. 2 of them became IBOs, right? And 6 of them became customers. That's how this business grows. But now if you have a PBZ and you only have 2 people come in, you don't have enough people to get IBO out of that. Now, it's a chance you can pick one up. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but and I know you can't call 2 people and get 2 people to come to a meeting and hope both of them come into the business and they blow up. That's just not going to happen. That's just like a great example would be if you owned a car dealership, or owned a Toyota dealership or a Ford dealership. Let's say Toyota. And that morning, the first 2 cars that passed your dealership didn't turn in. They kept going. Why didn't they turn in? Mr. Harrison he put $5 million in a Toyota dealership, got Harrison Toyota, okay? And he walked out to the front of the dealership, the light turned green, the cars took off, and the first 2 cars that they looked over to the new dealership, and they kept going. Why didn't they turn in? So the reason they didn't turn in is because they don't need a car. It's just that simple. Is that your fault? The next 5 people don't turn in, the next 10 people don't turn in, and then all of a sudden a car turns in there. A car turns in. And when that car turned in, they didn't come to get no shoes, they didn't come to get no hats, they didn't come to buy a dress. They're looking for a what? Car. They pass a dress store, they pass a shoe store, they pass the hat store. They turn in for a car. So if you look at it in that way, you won't shut your business down because somebody said no. Because everybody that passed your dealership, Mr. Harrison, today, they said no. They kept going. Does that make sense to everybody? So you're looking for somebody that's looking for who? You. They're looking for a business. They don't know of a business. And they may know of a business, but it costs $400,000 to get started, $10,000 to get started, $20,000 to get started. It's cost $60,000 to get started. It costs $500,000 to get started. And that's why most people cannot start a business. They have to hire people. They have to have a sign up. It's a lot of stuff you got to do. In our business, it's only $324.25 a month. It can create the same amount of money that Toyota dealership created. It could create the same amount of money that any business in town creates if you have the right mindset. And the mindset is, in order to have a really good meeting, a good profitable meeting, you are going to have to invite probably 40 or 50 people to the meeting. And they always say, what do they say? They say that only half of them are going to show up. So if you only invited 2, how many are going to show up? 1. If you invited 10, 5 will show up. If you invited 20, 10 will show up. But let's say 40, 50 people that you actually called. I'm not talking about I texted 40 or 50 people, because I texted Jackie Black and I texted Gregory Williamson and Miss Crosby, and I just tested. I checked. I mean, I contacted through texting. I contacted Jabri Clemens, right? Some of them saw it, some of them didn't see it. We got thousands of texts a day. Some of them don't know what you're talking about. They don't understand, and so they didn't show up. And others who are looking for a business decided to come onto your WitchCom tonight. So it's very important we have a system, and that's the top money earners like Al Thomas and a lot of other folks in the business have a system. So you want to create 50 people. Now, how can you get 50 people to get that phone call? So if you sign me up, and you want me to contact 50 people, so that maybe out of the 50, 2 or 3 will become IBOs, maybe. And out of the rest of them, your friends, buddies, pals, out of that, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them will become customers, okay? Because they were upset about their phone bill. They were upset about their internet bill. They were upset about how much they was paying for energy or whatever. And so you didn't know that. They said, I'm not interested in the business, but I'm interested in doing what? Becoming a customer. And then there'll be 1 or 2, 3 people that are interested in the business. And so when you signed me up, you did that. I came on board. I saw a lot of people on your PPZ. I saw a lot of people. I was one that came on IBO. So when I started my business, you're going to say, Curtis, you got to contact how many people? 50 people. We're not talking about texting them now, calling them and getting them to come to a meeting. Now, 50 will say yes, 40 will say yes, and we know 10, 20 are going to show up. That's just the way it works. That's the nature. That's the nature of business. Okay, that is just the simple nature of business. I'm sure I'm not telling you much you don't know, but keep in mind, only one person in this business, once you got your business established, it takes one strong leader and you're done. You're wealthy. You sign up a Mike Mazer, you sign up a Al Thomas. Now I say you, I'm not talking about you. I'm someone in your organization signs up that person, and you're off and running. Okay. So it's very important that we understand the rules, not of network marketing, not of multi-level marketing. It's very important that we understand the rules of business. These are rules of business, okay? And if you understand those rules, you won't think something's wrong because you probably only contacted a few people. And your biggest problem with contacting those people was you were prejudging. You were looking for a SVP. You're looking for an RVP. You weren't looking for me. The guy that signed me up is a nice guy. I mean, this is way back in the day, but he didn't have a 5th, 6th grade education, taught not really good English, nicest guy you want to see, had a great family, but you wouldn't have signed him up. You would have said, I don't think that guy's interested in nothing like this. I promise you, I know my former sponsor in another business, nobody on this call would have contacted him. Nobody. What about the person that Mr. Thomas signed up under? He signed up under somebody, right? Would you have signed that person up? Would you have signed it up? So what I want everybody to do is think about ourselves inside of your brain. Like Michael Jackson says, a man in the mirror. But I want you to consider, and I learned this part of what I'm telling you about right now. I learned it from Greg Provenzano in a personal call, in a personal conversation with Greg Provenzano and Tony Kupas in Charlotte, North Carolina, at an RD meeting one night. We were about to go to dinner. We sit there and talk for a minute, and this is what he said. Most people are looking for SVP or RVP. They're so busy looking for an SVP and an RVP that they miss out on the leaders. Okay, so let's talk about that. You're signing up people because they're interested, you're excited. Now, first thing you got to do is be excited. You can't say, well, I don't know, it's a work for some and don't work for others. You know, you can't come across that way. If you're a pastor, if you're a business owner, if you're a basketball coach, you can't be lackadaisical about your thing. Whatever your thing is, you can't be Steph Curry and, well, you can't be Michael Jordan. I don't know. It's this round ball. I don't know. It's ball to ball. You know, I'm living my life. You need to be excited, and I want you excited because I want you to realize that you may not sign up the #1 top money earner, but that person may know somebody that you know, or 3 or 4 levels deep. That's the magic of multi-level marketing. Okay, that's the magic. And I'll just tell you the story. Mr. Thomas signed up a young man in Dallas, Texas. His name was Lee Lemons, okay? And his best friend, Mr. Thomas went to his best friend and said, hey, man, we're tight. We've been together talking about doing something big. I want you to take a look at this business. So he showed his friend in Oakland the business. The guy looked at the business. He said, no, this is not for me. Now, most of us will, oh, no, it's not working. But he said, Mr. Thomas asked a magic question. Who do you know? And he said, oh, well, I got a guy I know in Dallas, Texas that likes stuff like this. That's what they always say, stuff like this, okay? And Al got in touch with him, and Lee Lemons came in, and guys, I can't explain how many IBOs Lee Lemons have put in the business. I can't even talk about that. I don't know nothing that big. But if you were to sign up Volanino, I know Volanino, he'll be here this Thursday. Volanino, he came into the business, struggled, and finally, he signed somebody that signed somebody that signed somebody. I think it's 10th, 11th level. Comes Patrick Mazer. Now, who would like Patrick Mazer in one of their legs? And this person put in thousands. That group, that team, that multiple teams, they put in thousands of fun people. So we got to get out of the. Greg said we got to get out of the habit of looking for a leader. We're going to find a leader, and a leader will come to you. They'll be calling you. You won't be calling them. They'll be calling you. Okay. I promise you, if Daryl Ransom signed up in your group, he's a leader in your group. He's running hard and heavy. He's going to look for another leader. And when he looks at that leader, he's going to be calling the leader more than the leader's calling him. That's how you know you got somebody that's interested in growing from ETL to RC to RD to RVP. Okay. So the secret is once you get your business up and running, how do you know who to talk to? How do you know who to work with? You work with the people calling you. Does that make sense? You work with the people calling you. If Mr. Harrison owned that Toyota dealership, would he be running down the road behind every car in the road? Because that car didn't turn in? Would he be running down the road behind the cars that didn't turn in? Or would he work with the guy that turned in that's looking for a truck? Okay, so that's just a sorting process of what we do. And anytime they start a business, you'll see they put a little thing on the road and they're running across the road. They want to know how many cars pass that road every day. In this spot, we're about to build a Chick-fil-A here. We're going to put a big old some tube across the road. And every time a car hits it, we'll know that car passes this spot. And they found out on this road, we had 100,000 cars came by today. They did it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday's a little low, and Wednesday night's a little low. They know the whole thing. The computer tells them how many cars pass it, and they know if they need to put a building there on that spot, or maybe further down the road, or maybe on the other side of the road, or maybe next to the Starbucks. They know where to put it. So what I'm saying to you is don't prejudge, okay? And he said that is the #1 problem with most people. They never get all those successful legs. Greg told me this, and he told my wife this. And Tony Kupas was there. Mike, I can't remember. I get those two mixed up. He was there as well. They gave us some other ideas. and things to start momentum in the organization. Now, I haven't gotten kicking hard at like I like to get going. I really think this world's in a spot right now, and I don't think it'll be out of this spot until this election's over. I think everybody's watching this election to see what's going on. And Ms. Thomas probably going to chew me out now. Don't slow him down, but I promise you, leaders of other countries are worried about this election. People in the United States, everybody's worried about it. So this election, they'll be over in a couple of weeks, and then everybody's going to settle down into whatever they were planning to do. Okay, so if you're having a hard time getting people's attention right now, they may be looking at something else. That's not to say there aren't some people tired of all that and they're ready to get started. But what I want you to do is remember today, if you don't learn anything else, I got a video I was going to show you from Greg Provenzano, but I decided today simply to tell you what the video is about. The next time I'll show it. It'll probably mean more to you then. But his only advice to me was to stop prejudging. And he said it's the hardest thing to do. Mrs. Estrada, I don't know her, but if she came in my organization, she may be on level what? 130. She may be on level 70, right? And that's how this business works. In fact, you may build the business and never run into a leader. Never. I mean, direct to you. Someone direct to Mr. Kuback, someone direct to Mr. O'Neill, someone direct to Geraldine Carter, someone direct to, you may not run into that. So what you want to do is just take that load off of you. I want you to get rid of that burden. It's a self-induced burden. It's sometimes called self-sabotage. Sometimes we'll find a reason to slow ourselves down. Self-sabotage. So what I want you to do is simply not put that pressure on yourself. Your job is to sort through people. Sort through people. I was raised in Fresno, a little town outside of Fresno called Atwater, California. 95301 is zip code. I remember it like yesterday. I left there when I was younger. But up north, we go to field trips to Sacramento. And in Sacramento up there, there's a lot of gold mines and people panning for gold and all that. The people that really made the money was the people that made the shovels. Sold the shovels. The people that really made the money were the people that sold tents, you know. But to get the gold, you have to put a lot of dirt inside of this trough and put water in and shake it. You know, shake it off like Taylor Swift said, but you have to shake it. The sand would go through, and if there was any gold in there, it wouldn't go through the mesh, okay? So you have gold there. But who in the world in here expects to get one of those things, get a shovel full of dirt, and in your first shovel that you put in that sorter, you got rich in the first first quantity of dirt that you try to run water through. If you didn't get rich in the first thing that you shuttled, then you put everything back in the wagon, and instead of saying California a bus, you go on the side of the wagon and you ride up there Maryland a bus. You're going back across the United States. You're going back across the wilderness. You're going back across all the mountains and the bears and the tigers and everything else, going back to the East Coast. Because I was out there in California and I didn't get no gold. So I came back. It took you a year to get out there. It took you a year to get back. And you come back telling about there's no gold in California. There's no gold. And that's just not true. That is just not true. On your way to California, you're going to run into bears and lions and you're going to run into snakes. You're going to have to cross a river. You're going to have to camp out in a tornado zone in Oklahoma where a tornado can come out and kill everybody. You have to go through some stuff getting to California for the gold. So if something happens and you stop and you pitch a tent up and you say, I'm just going to stay here, wherever that is, does that mean there's no gold in California? Does that mean there's no gold in California? No, it means you stopped. Something happened, you stopped. So I don't want you to stop because you think that you haven't ran into a SVP yet. If you don't learn anything else today, you didn't run into SVP, well, maybe nobody did, okay? The system that you created is a system to sort, and that system is called a PBZ. And the art of the PBZ is not the PBZ. It's not, the art of the PBZ is not that. I'm gonna tell you why. If Jackie Black invited me to take a look at the business, I started it, and she showed me how to invite. She has to show me how to invite because inviting is a skill. You're inviting people to take a look at something. So she didn't show me how to invite. I invited 3 people, 3 showed up, 2 showed up, 1 showed up, and I think the thing don't work. But I should have had how many people invited? And I'm not saying on the call, but how many people should I have invited? 50. You should have made phone calls to 50 people. And if you're over 20 years old, don't you tell me you don't know 50 people. You were scared to call them. You were scared to call them. You were worried about what they said. More importantly, you were worried about what the last person said. The last person messed your head up, right? So learning how to invite is what we'll talk about next week. We'll go over that in great detail. That's the biggest skill that you can have. And if you can teach other people how to what? If I could teach Bob Myers, Danny Payne, Catherine Williams, and Rick Kubik, if I can teach Darrell Ransom, if I can teach other people how to invite, right? Then I got a system that's bringing hundreds of people to the business every week. People looking at the business. How many eyeballs do you have on the business? How many people do you have looking at the business? 1, 2, 3? No. Thousands of people are looking at the business. How many people did you have looking at the business this year? It should be thousands, because you were teaching people how to what? Not do the presentation, because really that's what you're supposed to do when the people come up. You're teaching people how to do what? Invite. You want them to invite a lot. And if you can learn to do that, if we can all get together and do that, and it'll be a lot simpler in a couple of weeks. But if you can learn how to invite and teach other people how to invite, the leaders are going to show up. People are going to pass your dealership. Some are going to turn in, some won't. But the leaders are going to show up because they need a business. They need a way out. They need residual income. They got a big car, a big house, and they're about to lose it all. What do I need to do here? What do I need to do? And that's how this business works. When those people show up, and then all of a sudden it's just magic. The way you know the comp plan. The comp plan is magic when you got a couple of 3 or 4 leaders in different legs. Magic. Tell me, magic. I remember in my first business, I was struggling with it, and when those leaders showed up, I went from this, oh God, that was $600, $700, $800 a month to residual check 7,000, 8,000. Well, monthly income, bonuses were 12,000, 15,000. Okay, a month. It was 4,000 a week on the bonus side, and a residual check of $7,000, $8,000. That's when I learned how to invite, and I got super excited and showed them where the money was. I said, "Let me show you where the money is. I'm gonna show you where the money is," and I showed them where the money was. Okay, so, but you got to be excited. You got to be excited. If you're not excited, you say, "Well, that's not me." Well, I hope you sign up some people that can get excited. Sometimes the older we get, the harder it is to get excited. I hate to say it. You got food in the refrigerator and the lights on. If I went to Adrian's house right now, the lights are on. You got all kind of food in the refrigerator, gas, the tank's full of gas. You got a nice car out front. Grass is cut. They don't finish cutting this grass. You can't get him excited. He think he's in heaven right now. So what I want him to do is to let's learn how to invite. Okay, that's our job. So that's all I have for today. I hope this helps. I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself. Okay, so when we teach people, we need to be talking to ourselves because we have to show them. In fact, I need to have as many people as Mr. Thomas has right here on this channel at 12 o'clock. All of us do. Mr. Harrison, he needs to have 10, 12, 15, 20 people on this call. Freddie Galaxy, he needs to have 10, 15, 20 people on this call. So we can learn how to what? Invite. Mr. Thomas, somebody will do the presentation. Someone better than you will do the presentation. You just need to learn how to invite. Okay? Thank you very much. That takes care of my part for today. Mr. Thomas, is all yours.